Hey everyone, in this short lesson I'd like to talk about how I created this small cycling effect. The idea behind it is spheres of red and black color move upwards and being soft body objects, they collide on the logo, and this effect has about like 200 frames, and it constantly repeating. Let's see how we can manage this type of effect. Okay. All right. So here I have my scene prepared, just to explain how it all organized. So here I have prepared geometry for render, and here we have red geometry objects, so spheres, black spheres, and the logo itself with materials being applied. Okay, so this is a preparation phase, and here we have light and cameras. So there's three type of cameras: the um, average, narrow, and square, uh, and lights. So environment light with the EXR applied to it, which I've downloaded from the Azure Heaven website, which is very good website, so you can check it out. A lot of information you'll find there. Okay, and area light, which is the light just on top of the scene itself. Okay, so and the preparation phase. So here we have all the three setups. They're the same, so I will explain only first one. If I just disable this, so how it why there is a three same setup. So here we have the main one, so which will have a collision with the logo itself. So it's the like a main setup that um, that is needed. Okay, and secondary effects are just to fill the scene and have some perspective. Um, okay, this is additional details on the front. Yeah, that's why three setups were done. So let's see how it actually been set up. So here I have a trace node with the black and white Coca-Cola logo image applied. I think this is a great node which helps you to create this type of complex shapes without using any other software. Okay, yeah, very useful and handy. Okay, it traces out your 2D image into geometry. Okay, so next, so we have quite some points, a little cleanup. I'm using the fuse node just to increase the gap between points, so lesser points I'm having in this case. All right. I think it's better to use the fuse node instead of resample, because the resampling node doesn't often gives you nice results. So by fusing those points nearby, creates a more clean geometry. Then I'm adding some transform just to scale my geometry, and then I'm dividing it just to add more geometry to the logo. So there's extrusion, some beveling, and then I'm converting it to VDB, smoothing, and converting it back to geometry. I I like this technique. Whenever you use some complex shapes, the VDB uh, modeling or technique helps you quite a bit. Right, so here we have our logo prepared, and it will be used in the render. Okay. Next, I'm creating a geometry just to visualize. So I've set up. So here I have my logo in the frame. So just hide. So here I have a grid, which I place under the logo and scatter some points. And here I'm coloring my points with black and white. So I will use later just to split those points and give it another color. Okay, so here I'm copying my spheres onto, and then I'm sending it all to vellum simulations. The vellum simulation is very straightforward. I haven't used any special parameters, simply presets. So vellum configure balloon, okay, for this simulation, and vellum solver itself, okay. And the only thing I've added, just connected my logo so they could collide. And yeah, this is it. So after a simulation is done, I usually try to switch off my simulation, so I could kind of if I do some wrong move, let's say, I would just easily just go back, because sometimes you can the software may freeze and just crash your scene. Okay, so after everything is done, so there's a lot of attributes are created after the finished simulation. Okay, so you would like to clean it. So here I'm deleting all the attributes in groups, but leaving only color and the velocity channels. Okay, and then I'm caching everything, which is very, very handy. So if we have a look, camera, logo tab. So here I'm splitting my black and white points, spheres, and I'm assigning a red color, in this case this red color. And this grouping is not necessary, I just grouped it in case I will need some tweaks to be applied. So as you see, if I play the simulation, we see how spheres are bouncing the logo, especially after render. You just have some nice bounce effect. Okay, and next this is the cycling part, the looping part of the simulation. So how I actually solved this, I created so here I created an animation, so I could just move my spheres up until they just disappear from the frame. Okay, they just exit the frame. Yes, and then I've applied time shift. So if I just enable this one, and so you see, as soon as the first part of those spheres are just the animation is ending, so the second part will start and just feel the same scene. Okay, and now just to create the cycling effect, what I'm doing, I'm looking for the frame that I like, which I would like to start from. Okay, so let's say I found that 150 is a nice place to start from. So I create a time shift and just freeze my animation. And here I have the second part. I mean the second, the offset and animation, just to get started. Okay, so I'm waiting for it, and I'm just playing through and just looking where this uh, matching will happen. So here I have a frame 340. Okay, so um, starting 150 and 340 will give me a nice cycle. Okay, and then I'm adding a time warp. Not time warp, actually. Time. Right. So here I have my time warp, and as I said, I have 150. Okay, so I'm input frame range 150, and the second one is 340, and it will play it in the range of 1 and 100. Okay, so if I just play, so I will stop. If I do pre-cycle and post-cycle, and now if I play my animation, so as you see, we're nicely blending, and we have our cycle. Okay, I hope that was clear. Okay, so we start with the frame that we want, and then we are just offsetting our animation, the same animation, and then we're just looking for the frame that we will match, and then we will use our time warp with the pre and post cycle, and use our start and end animation, and then we'll go into cycle. Okay. In my case, I used 170 and 356 frames, which also works fine. Okay, and then I cached as well, just to play faster. And then I split it just to import it into the into a node that I will render. Okay, I also exported this just to be able to render it in other software. In this case, I have used the Blender, so I used the Lembic, and I'm not going through the rendering phase of this. Just would like to. I just wanted to say that the convenient thing of let's say I have imported the Alembic with the attributes, and the Blender sees the color attribute. Okay, so I used only one material and the color attribute, which automatically gives all the necessary colors to hold the geometry. Okay, and yeah, that's what I'd like to say. All right, and yes, so all these three setups are done, and then I just collect all this red spheres, the black spheres, and the logo itself. Okay, and the last thing I could just, I'm talking about the camera setup. So here I have some setups setup. Uh, the only thing I was playing mostly with is the uh, depth of the field. So this parameter gave me a nice depth of the field. So um, and here, and I rendered with Karma. So I used an XPU with some filters applied just to denoise things. Okay, motion blur also added, and depth of the field. Okay, which works very nicely. Okay, and also not to forget, just activate your velocity blur so you can see it. And yeah, I think this is if just to have a look. So here's the render. It's a rough render just to speed things up. So like, let's say we have some frames. So we have some nice balance, motion blur, depths of the field, and also nice reflections. Okay, well, yeah, well, that's all that I'd like to share with you in this lesson. I hope you like the tutorial, and if you find it useful, please subscribe for more upcoming lessons. Okay, thank you very much, goodbye, and good luck.